This virtual speaking examination is brought to you by Elite Intellect 9 IELTS Review Center, Philippines. If you want to know the secrets on how to pass your IELTS examination, please send us a message on Facebook. That is Facebook Elite Intellect 9. Thank you, and see you on our next speaking episode. Welcome, my children! Charing! Hello, guys. Welcome to a quick discussion here at Elite IELTS Center. Again, my name is Joseph, and I will be your course convener for tonight. And I will be talking to you about how long should you detail on the IELTS speaking. Now, the recording you have heard right there is Eli. You have Virtual Speaking Buddy. Eli is now available for free on Spotify and Anchor FM. So if you have a Spotify account, then please, by all means, search Elite Intellect Virtual Speaking Buddy because that consists of 10 full practice tests with which me, Mom Zaya, and of course Sir Marcus will be interviewing you for your speaking examination. So anytime, anywhere, you can now bond with the coaches of Elite Intellect 9, brought to you by Spotify from Elite Intellect 9. Okay, so that's available on Spotify and Anchor FM. Okay, and now we have also launched our YouTube channel. That's Elite Intellect IELTS Specialist PH, guys. So if you can go and check it out later on and subscribe on that channel, that would be very helpful for us to reach our students who needs helping on their IELTS examination for free. So just like these classes, there will be classes that will be uploaded on that platform right there. Okay, great evening, Mother D. Rars. I've been here, Ray Ray. Hello. Great evening, guys. Okay, so this is a discussion that I just quickly formulated. It's because I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I can remember correctly, approximately 40 students for the past weeks have already asked me about this one. They asked me, Sir Joseph, how long should I be detailing on the part one of the examination? Because based on what I know, I should only be detailing for 1 to 2 sentences. Okay, so if you are the type of student who are comfortable with detailing for 1 to 2 sentences, that's totally fine. Okay, it's totally okay. However, I want to make a clarification as regards this one, basing it on the actual grading criteria of the IELTS. That is why we encourage all our students to detail more, okay, on their part one. That's myth number one right there, is that, Sir Joseph, should I just detail for 1 to 2 sentences? Okay, my answer on that one, my love, is you can if you would want, but I do not highly recommend it. Again, you can detail for 1 to 2 sentences if you would want, but I do not highly recommend it. Now, I want to discuss why I do not recommend for you guys to detail for just 1 to 2 sentences on the part one of your speaking examination. All right? So, this is how long should you detail on the IELTS speaking. Quick fact. Okay, detailing is an important part of your speaking test. Without proper time to detail, your examiners will never see your potential, grammatical structure, pronunciation, and vocabulary. Let's bring that back to the grading criteria of the IELTS, right? There are 4 grading criteria of the IELTS speaking examination. You have your fluency, coherence, and content, pronunciation, grammar, and of course your vocabulary, lexical resources. Now, if you are detailing in a short way, there is a significant danger that might arise on this case right here. What is it, Sir Joseph? Your examiners might not hear the structure, your sentence structure, your grammatical structure, your pronunciation, your vocabulary. They might be missed by your examiners if you detail in a short way. That is why I highly encourage my students to show your detailing capacity on the test to give an opportunity to your examiners to grade you systematically on the examination. All right? Now, myth. I should make my part one simple, like 1 to 2 sentences only. Okay, there is nothing wrong with a simple part one. Okay, let me just clarify that. There is nothing wrong with a simple part one. However, a short answer on your part one, guys, is not going to it's not going to be fitting for you to be able to show your capacity to your examiner. First things first, do not choose the parts of your exam. Okay? Do not choose the parts of your exam. Do not believe in the saying na, oh, you should not be doing well on your part one. It's because it's just the part one of your test. It's not that as important as the part two or part three. That is not true, my children. All the parts of the examination, whether that's part one or part three, all of these parts are important, and you should be showing your capacity on all three of them. Never ever delimit your answers on the part one, because you're choosing which part you're going to do well at if you're going to do that, right? So some of my students also are asking me, Sir Joseph, should I not use academic words on the part one? Why? What is the reason why you should not be using your academic words in the part one? The moment that your examiner said, may I see your identification card? Right? Okay, this is the part one of your IELTS speaking examination. You are already being graded. So I do not get the point on which you have to choose parts with which you're going to be using your academic words, on what on you need to choose the parts with which you need to detail more. No, guys, but again, there is nothing wrong with that. Okay? There is nothing wrong with that, but I do not highly recommend for you to do so. Okay, now let's take a look. One one to two sentences of an answer would not be enough for you to state your claims and expand your answers on the test. Do you want to see how one to two sentences of an answer looks like? Okay, here. Look at this one. Do you think it is better to rent or buy a place to live in? Right? One, two sentences. I think it is better to buy a house because it would be convenient for the people. They do not have to think of their monthly payments anymore. All right. First things first. If you're going to be looking at this answer, wow, it looks good, right? Because we pronounced it well, right? Look at that. But then again, on the actual examination, if the student is nervous, right? Well, I think it is better to buy a house because it would be convenient for the people. They do not have to think of their monthly payments anymore. What is wrong with this answer? Number one, guys, it's too short. There's no structure. There's no advanced structure that I have noted here. There are no connectors. Basically, just one connector is present because two, if you're going to count, I think, right? Two connectors in an answer is not an effective way to show your advancement with grammar, right? So limiting your answers to two sentences, you just extirpated your potential. Believe me, you just extirpated your potential on the examination. Okay, so Sir Joseph, should I be talking too much on the test? No, you don't have to talk too much too, right? Be careful with talking too much on the examination because your examiner will just interrupt you. Okay, later on, I will tell you how long should you be answering. All right? Okay, so as you can see on that sample, the answers are too short in a way that if the examiner is going to grade that, there is no maintained cohesion, no connectors, no vocabulary features, but paraphrasing. Basically, that's it. On that answer, what the student did is just, he detailed, it's conversational, okay, good enough to get a 6.0, right? Vocabulary features, just paraphrasing, okay, good enough to get a 6.5. But you guys are aiming for a 7.0. Let me clarify on that. If you are aiming for a 7.0, the techniques that apply for a 7.0, that's not the technique that you should be applying. Okay? Because if you are applying techniques for a 7.0 only, there's no margin for error on the examination. Wala. Wala kang margin of error, anak ko, no? I have seen hundreds, even thousands of students before who are aiming for a 7.0 and applying techniques that are just basically, what do you call this, recommended to get a 7.0, and they end up getting a 6.5. Why? It's because their technique is enough for 7.0 on a perfect light. However, on the test, we have this margin for error that we would like to call. So if you're aiming for a 7.0, then you better apply techniques for a 7.5 or an 8.0 or an 8.5 or a 9.0, right? That technique right there is enough to get you a 7.0. I can guarantee you that on the perfect light, okay? However, on the exam, if you're nervous, if you're pressured, right? If you're nervous, if you're pressured, if you are not on the proper focus on the test, that can easily transform into a 6.5, just like that. Okay? Now, let us look at the grading criteria of the IELTS speaking to support detailing. All right? Okay. So, Look at this one, guys. For band 5, this is from IDP. Okay, for band 5, usually maintains flow of speech, okay, but uses repetition, self-correction, and or slow speech to keep going. May overuse certain connectives and discourse markers and produces simple speech fluently. Did you know that a limited answer of 1 to 2 sentences with no academic word feature, with no cohesive connectors and connectors feature is capable of is under the category of a simple speech. You can be very fluent on the test. You can be very fluent on the test, right? You can deliver a fluent speech. However, it can be deemed as simple. Now, if you are delivering a simple speech on the examination, what band are you going to be getting, right? It's on the band 5.0 for fluency, coherence, and content. Now, what about for band 6, guys? Band 6, let's take a look at this one. Fluency and coherence. Is willing to speak at length. Okay, that's 1 to 2 sentences too. Though may lose coherence at times due to occasion repetition. Okay, they may lose their flow, right? Self-correction or hesitation uses a range of connectives and discourse. Okay, connectors are there. They can be seen. Markers, but not always appropriately. Sometimes the student is using connective markers that are not appropriate for the structure. Now, if you're going to blink your eye just right and imagine the situation, guys, right? If you're giving them 1 to 2 sentences, is there enough opportunity for you to show your connectives and discourse markers? Okay, I wanted guys to answer on this one. If you are giving them 1 to 2 sentences of an answer, is there enough opportunity for you to show your connective and discourse markers? No, there's not enough opportunity for that. Why? Because maybe the only connective marker that you will use is however, because, due to, and that falls under the category of a band 6.0, right? Look at that. It will fall under the category of a band 6.0. Now, let's take a look at a band 7. Okay, band 7, guys. Look at band 7. For fluency and coherence, speaks at length without noticeable effort or loss of coherence, may demonstrate language-related hesitation at times or some repetition and or self-correction, and uses a range of connectives and discourse markers with some flexibility. Look at this one. You already used your connectives and discourse markers flexibly. Now look at that. What grade are you deserving of? A 7.0. 1 to 2 sentences, guys, is not enough for you to get that. 1 to 2 sentences is not enough for you guys to show your connectives and discourse markers on the test. So I want you to consider that. Okay, what else? Look at this one. Sir Joseph, what about for a band 8? Okay, let's take a look at a band 8, guys. For band 8, fluency and coherence. Speaks fluently with only occasional repetition, okay, or self-correction, hesitation, and is usually content-related and only rarely to search for language, develops topics coherently and appropriately. Now, look at that. The marker of an 8.0 speaker is that the person can show their capacity with searching for language effortlessly, developing topic coherently, quickly. In a snap, they were already able to develop the topic, right? And if you're going to be asking yourself right now, how can I show these features if I'm only giving 1 to 2 sentences on my test? That is equivalent to 10 seconds of an answer, not even 10 seconds. Sometimes it's like 7 or 8 seconds, right? The main point, guys, is that it's okay. It's okay for you to detail for 1 to 2 sentences. However, we do not highly recommend for you to do that because we need to hit these markers right here, right? We need to hit this grading criteria right here. You need to speak at length without noticeable effort. Continue your Flow, use a range of connectives and discourse markers with some flexibility. And how will your examiner be able to listen to that if you're only using one discourse marker by giving them two sentences? What else? How can you show that you're not searching for language and you're not developing the topics coherently and appropriately if if you're giving your examiner only one to two sentences on the test? This right here, my dear darling lovies, is important for you to understand. Okay? Again, it's okay for you to detail for one to two sentences. It's okay if that's your choice. However, your Mama D is telling you that this is the grading criteria and we are following what is true on the grading criteria. Okay. Now, Sir Joseph, what do you want me to do? Okay, so as you may have noticed, guys, short details without connected markers or effectively displaying your capacity falls under the band of 5.0 and 6.0. Band 7 and 8.0 is completely different with its detailing features. Now, how long should I be detailing on the test? Okay, look at this one, guys. I have made some recommendations here. These are recommendations. Again, you can apply them if you would want to. Now, look at that. 15 to 20 seconds, okay? Or equivalent to 3 to 4 sentences is just enough detail for you to show your examiner your capacity. No? That's why I'm always teaching you guys on IELTS Help Center discussion about connectors, no? And on Sunday, this is what I will be discussing about. Again, how to detail using your discourse markers, your connectors. Okay, so that's Sunday, 10 p.m. Philippines time. Stand by on your group for our links. But for now, let's finish this one.